Good morning, boys and girls. This is your math e-learning lesson for Tuesday, April 7th. Today's lesson is 113, fractions equal to 1. Let's look at the board for a minute. In a fraction, you have an upper number and a lower number. Your upper number is the numerator and the lower number the denominator. Just a little review, numerator, denominator. Okay? Now, on lesson 113, it shows you 4 circles. Each circle divided up into a different number of parts. Here we have halves, thirds, fourths, and fifths. And what they're showing you is simply fraction names for 1. So here, when we're looking at this circle is divided up into halves. If I shade in one of those parts, 1/2 is shaded in. If I shade in 2 parts, then 2/2 are shaded in. And 2/2 is the same as saying 1 whole circle is shaded in. We move to thirds. Again, 1 part shaded in, that's 1/3. 2 of the parts, 2/3. 3 of the parts, 3/3. Or if you notice, the whole circle is now shaded in. Okay, 1 whole. Fourths. 1/4 is shaded, 2/4 is shaded, which is also the same as 1/2, 3/4 shaded, 4/4 shaded. I have 4/4 of the circle shaded in, and that's the same as 1 whole circle shaded in. Here I have a circle divided up into fifths. 1/5 is shaded, 2/5 are shaded. 3/5 are shaded. 4/5 are shaded. Now 5/5 are shaded, or as you can see, the whole circle is shaded in. In each of these cases, we have 1 whole circle that's shaded in. Whenever, and if you look and you see what the pattern is here, whenever the numerator is the same as the denominator, it equals 1 whole. So when 2/2 are shaded in, that's the same as 1 whole circle shaded in. 3/3, that's equal to 1 whole circle. 4/4, that's 1 whole. And 5/5, that's 1 whole. So anytime the numerator is the same as the denominator, that's going to equal 1. Doesn't matter how large or small the numerator or the denominator is, as long as they're both the same, it's going to equal 1. So we have 5/5. Of course, then you know we could have 6/6 and 7/7 and so on. And we can have 25 25ths, and that will also equal 1. Anytime the numerator is the same as the denominator, it's going to equal 1 whole. Okay? If you look further down, lesson 113, example 1 asks which of these fractions equals 1. And so they give you 3 fractions to look at. You have 1/6, 6/6, and 7/6. Which of those fractions is equal to 1? Right, 6/6, because anytime the numerator is the same as the denominator, it equals 1. Top of the next page, it says to write a fraction equal to 1 that has a denominator of 7. So they want you to write a fraction that is equal to 1 and it has a denominator of 7. Well, if the denominator is 7 and we want it to equal 1, we know then that the numerator must also be the same. Therefore, 7/7 equals 1. Let's go to the practice. You have A, B, C, and D. A asks you to write a fraction equal to 1 that has a denominator of 6. A fraction equal to 1 that has a denominator of 6. So if your denominator is 6 and you want this fraction to equal 1, you know that the numerator must also be 6. Correct. Okay. Let's go to B. Which of these fractions equals 1? And you're given 3 choices there. Which fraction is equal to 1? You have 9/10, 10/10, and 11/10. Which of those fractions is equal to 1? Again, remind yourself the numerator and the denominator must be the same. Therefore, your answer is 10 tenths. 10 tenths is equal to 1. C. What fraction name for 1 is shown by each picture? So now they're showing you two pictures. Even though nothing is shaded in, nothing has to be shaded in because they're just simply asking what fraction name for 1 is shown by the picture. Is shown by the picture. So if you take a look, figure C, first thing you need to do is to count up how many equal parts there are, and you see that there are 6 equal parts. Now if you remember with a fraction, the denominator, the lower number, always tells us how many equal pieces there are altogether, regardless of what's been shaded in or what's not shaded in. The denominator always tells us how many equal parts there are altogether. And so in this circle, we see that there are 6 equal parts. So our denominator is 6. Now, since we are asked to write the fraction name for 1 for that figure, if that figure has 6 equal parts, what equals 1? 6, 6. 6, 6. Because when all 6, 6 are shaded in, then one whole circle would be shaded in. So the fraction name for 1 that goes with that picture would be 6, 6, because we can see that there are 6 equal parts. That makes the denominator 6, and in order to equal 1, the numerator must be the same. So 6, 6. And then in figure D, again, you're still writing a fraction name for 1 that goes with that picture. And you can see in figure D that you have 9 squares. Okay, there are 9 little squares there. In order to have a fraction name for 1, the numerator must be the same as the denominator. So in this case, 9 ninths equals 1. Okay, good job with that. Let's take a look. Your lesson numbers 1 to 25. So in lesson 113, you're going to be working on numbers 1 to 25. Remember to go back into any of the previous lessons, anything that might not seem familiar to you. Remember to use those little numbers in parentheses to take you back to a previous lesson, to look over that lesson to refresh your memory. Also, please make sure you are spending about 20 minutes on IXL or extra math. Okay, any questions, please reach out to me and I'll talk to you later. Bye.